άρχισε η Οδύσσειά μου. Ο γουλιάδος μου, ο Ερίκος ο Σεβίλιας, ο οποίος ήταν στο Auschwitz πέθανε με τον αριθμό.
Ερίκος Σεβίλιας από την Αθήνα.
Now it was really the end of the Allies were advancing into northern Italy. German armies facing them collapsed. Partisans arose everywhere on the Allied side. They demanded to take over control in Milan. The Germans decided to
drive through the city, past the Colosseum, place of ancient Roman holidays of quite a different nature.
Mussolini went there to negotiate with the partisans. Then, on the sudden impulse, he decided to leave
Through
with
the
the
streets of
Germans.
Rome drives General Mark
Left
Clark.
in a German
The
truck,
capital is intact and wears no
disguised in
scars
a
of
German
battle.
greatcoat.
The illustrious city has been wrested undamaged from the enemy. The population gives itself up to excitement. as the shackles of German domination fall
As
away.
the German convoy
The
passed through
freeing
the
of Rome
mountains,
has crowned a long
Mussolini was
succession of
joined by
victories
his
in Africa
mistress,
and Europe by
Charlotte
General
Italian.
Sir Harold Alexander.
At the mountain
But
village,
Rome is not without
the
its
convoy
interests.
was stopped
Revolt
by
against tyranny is
partisans.
expressed in several ways.
They agreed
In the
to let the
Piazza
Germans
Venezia,
go through.
anti-fascists
They
hurl
would
a
hand
bomb into
over
a large
any
insurance
Italians.
building in which several
Mussolini,
fascists are in hiding.
Charlotte Italian,
The temper of
were
the crowd
discovered.
boils over, and there's a rush to lay
Partisans,
hands on them.
not quite knowing what
Italian
to do with them,
carabinieri working under
stuck them
Allied
in a
instructions
remote
are sent in to
farmhouse.
stop bloodshed.
The next
But nearby,
day,
Italian
communist
patriots are smashing
partisans
down the door
learned
of
who the
another building.
prisoners were.
They want to get at a bunch
They
of
went up to
quislings
the
who have been
farmhouse,
working with the Germans
told
in this radio
Mussolini to come
studio,
with them.
converted into a Nazi
Mussolini said,
headquarters.
"You've come
This
to
time
rescue
they're
me.
lucky. They chuck
I'll
the
give you
quislings
an
out into the
empire."
street, socking them good
The
and plenty.
partisans, Benito Mussolini and Charlotte Italian, 3 yards along the road. There he shot them both. 28th of April, 1945. The dead bodies were taken in a truck down to Milan. Here they were put on public display. Once more the crowd
Here's another
turned
sign of
out
Italian
to see
demonstration.
Mussolini.
Huge crowds make their
This
way to
time
St.
to
Peter's
demonstrate
to hear
their
the Pope
hate
giving thanks for the
and to
sparing of
heap
the
on
city
him
from destruction.
all the blame
Speech from the
for the
balcony is
disasters
recorded
which
by
had
an RAF
overwhelmed
filming.
Italy.
Di distruzioni. Guarda oggi con nuova speranza e con rinnovata fiducia alla sua salvezza.
More applause from the Romans as Italian soldiers parade the flag through the streets. They like to share in the victory.
Alone and in silence, Pope Francis wanted to visit Auschwitz, not to talk, but to listen. He crossed the mythical entrance where prisoners could read this perverse message: work liberates. And while there he sat on a simple bench, he dedicated 15 minutes to a silent prayer. As he did before the monument commemorating the genocide of the Armenians, the Pope wanted to visit the Nazi concentration camp to hold the same tone. A silent memory of tragedy showing the worst side of human beings. He greeted one by one 10 Holocaust survivors in the square where prisoners were shot and killed, against the wall of death. Today it stands reconstructed. At his feet, the Pope placed a candle and then placed his hand on the memorial wall. Pope Francis was able to fulfill his wish to pray in the tiny dark cell where St. Maximilian Kolbe died. The Franciscan friar offered to die instead of letting another prisoner who had a family to care for. Afterwards, he left this written note.
We never saw injuries like that.
Secretly closed the actual doings of that night.
Why was the bombing of Bari Harbour such a disaster? Why did people with negligible injuries mysteriously begin to die? Why did Eisenhower and Churchill decide to cover up the story, making the Bari disaster one of the most secret events of the Second World War? The Pearl Harbor of the Mediterranean began when 105 Luftwaffe Junkers planes were launched against Bari Harbour, at that time under British control. It was the evening of the 2nd of December, 1943. The German air raid took the Allied defence completely by surprise.
The harbour was lit up.
The moment I thought they were shooting stars come very close. That's what it felt like, in 3 planes, one after the other.
The most important harbour supplying the 8th Army during the Italian campaign was impaired for 3 weeks. It was a huge blow for the Allied forces.
It just looked as if everything that had happened there had been swept under the carpet.
1,000 people lost their lives. But that wasn't the end of the story. The tragedy was only beginning.
There was this cloud of secrecy.
Secrecy clothed the actual doings of that night.
We were sworn to secrecy.
Eisenhower and Churchill initiated a cover-up. The attack on Bari Harbour was one of the most secret events of the war in Italy. Bari disaster could also have had even greater consequences for the civilians. Doctors began to treat the wounded. But something strange was happening.
The medical staff were very perplexed by their symptoms.
We've never seen anything like this.
Era lì nudo, sotto lenzuola, niente, non c'era nessun grafico.
Things were not normal.
E la pelle nera, tutta marron diventata.
And these were rather large blisters, you know.
Victims began dying.
Come mai queste persone stanno morendo?
What was going on?
They themselves didn't really know what to do.
Yet rumours were going around.
Were they just rumours? What do these pictures mean? Were the Germans using new and terrible weapons? A few days later, the name of an American ship began to circulate. It was underlined in official documents. The John Harvey. Why? What was the ship carrying? Why was it in Italy? What is the secret of this ship? Using original documents, we'll retrace the most successful German air raid in the Mediterranean. We'll follow the Allied convoy with its ultra documents and the reconnaissance messages. We will relive the story of men that risked their lives during the rescue operations, and the story of a man that has waited 25 years to unveil the tragedy, collecting memories that seemed lost. We'll relive the drama of the Bari civilians and of the Italian seamen of the Barletta. We'll discover the results of the secret board of inquiry established by Eisenhower, the Bari Report. We'll dip into the nightmare of weapons that most frightened the civilians during the war: chemical weapons, biological weapons, discussing how and when they could have been used, and when and if they were used. Discover how a new treatment against cancer rose from the ashes of this disaster. And in the end, we will also discover the secret link between Bari and D-Day in Normandy.